Hold on. I'll leave the call
Started.
again and come back and see.
You got speed blitz this
Yeah.
weekend.
Sorry for the late review. Things came up. Samurai Jack episode XC6.
I think that's 96, right?
96. Yeah. 96, season 5, episode 5, I believe.
96.
Is Ibrahim doing the recap, or you want to do it, Andre?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'll just do a brief.
Yeah, you'll do it. Go ahead.
Start off with the Scotsman, and we learned that he's had both daughters, and they're finally found Aku later. They're causing a lot of havoc outside. Aku just like, oh, what's all this ruckus outside? He's tired of it. He turns into a bowling ball. Start crushing the forces, recognizing that this is going to be an impossible challenge. Scotsman pretty much sacrifices himself so his daughters can get out of here. He kind of has this funny moment where he's just like kind of cursing Aku out. Aku has this real funny, like serious face on. Pretty much slaps this dude into dust. Pretty much thus killing the Scotsman, and his daughters are just watching here helplessly. They come back, and apparently he stayed alive. He helped it message with his sword and put him back into his prime. Then we transition over to Ashi and Jack, and she's pretty much still contemplating about like who's the good guy or bad guy. Jack goes into the morning, and Jack kind of finds this water dragon. He tells her to get on, and he kind of go through the ocean to get to the next island. Thus, they enter this forest. I think it's called the city of Aku. Jack steals some clothes and kind of looks like a 70s pimp in a sense. And pretty much throughout this whole deal, we see like people saying like, they want to join Aku's forces. Then they go into this factory where the children have been kind of kidnapped and also turned into like these wild children soldiers that Jack has to kind of fight and also escape. Actually, she fights this guy, I believe his name's called the Dominator. He kind of captures her and pretty much does an electrocution type of torture. And then I think she breaks out of it and then kind of beats him. And for some strange reason, the kids that was harassing Jack, they pretty much end up dying or seemingly dying. And Jack, he sees that kind of Grim Reaper again. And he's just like, okay, so I guess it's time for me to go with him. And pretty much, hold on, let me mute myself real quick. Hold on. Someone finish the recap. That's pretty much it. Hold on.
What was the very last thing you just said? Jack, when Jack leaves? People, you have to like everybody's muted. You have to unmute yourself to speak.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
The children passed out due to the they were under the control of the Dominator, and Ashi took him out. So simultaneously they passed out, and it's at that moment where the Grim Reaper came to Jack and told him that it was time, and Jack decided to proceed on, and he went on to follow him. And at that moment, Ashi came out looking for the samurai, and she's calling out to Jack, but Jack's already gone. And the episode ends with her just screaming "Samurai, Samurai," and then "Samurai Jack," as Jack has already proceeded to exit and go on to the Grim Reaper, who says it's time.
All right. So, thoughts on this episode, Andre?
He said he'll be back.
No, thoughts on the episode overall.
Cool episode. A lot of like different scenarios. Like usually other episodes kind of have this like uh set location or scenario or situation, but it was like we did like a lot in this episode. We went to a lot of different places. My the first time I watched it and I saw the Scotsman get blown to smithereens, I was pretty upset. It was super like just like he just got like absolutely dispatched with, and then I saw it, kind of saw it coming, thinking like in the moment I was watching it, I was like Akko could easily just like annihilate him, but like just seeing it happen and then him being reduced to bones, like was just kind of
Yeah,
a
because
little
you
sad.
predicted it last week. That was,
No, I predicted he would die, but like it was done like in an unceremonious, like you're nothing way.
no. You
I
wanted
thought
it to
like
be more of a like epic,
no,
dramatic death.
no, I didn't say one. I'm just talking about like what I thought and what happened. It doesn't, yeah. Uh, like I thought it would be like a Scotsman centric episode, but it was more like a open the episode attack and he got taken out, and it was a shocking moment. I'm interested to see if in the remaining 4 episodes if they do anything. They probably will, but like what they'll do with his daughter, specifically the lead one with the big tits, and
Mm.
yeah, I like that scene a lot, and it
Yeah, I
was
thought the
cool.
dynamic was funny. The warrior, Scottish daughters and stuff.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was a big
yeah,
early warrior. He had nothing but daughters, and he made
yeah,
them all into like warriors. That's pretty.
yeah. Um, that was cool. I like seeing his spirit form being the same as his design from the first 4 seasons. Uh, actually talking to the lady that trained and raised them. Uh, like when the moon became her and they were going back and forth. That was a cool scene. And basically, the
Well,
lady scolding.
that's her mother, right? You think it's fine that it was her mother,
I think
or is it
so.
just
It's never.
implied? So,
Yeah, I'll just call her mother for now, I guess. But they're going back and forth. That was a cool scene, and how like uh she was
She gave birth
basically
to all 7 of them.
she was berating Ashi as like
yeah,
she was telling her like you were always the one who was unfocused and you were always the one who was this and that, and it's almost as if like the one who is the least robotic is the person who's now becoming the one who's the closest to an actual human being in terms of experiencing the world and like having different emotions aside from what was set for her to be. So that was cool. Good, more character and relationship building with her and Jack. That was all. That's pretty good. The out in the cities parts, I enjoyed like just the different scenery in the episode. Like it's always cool to just have like a variety in that. Um, the parallels of like the children being kind of like forced against, not forced, but like controlled against their will to just like do something, and then Ashi being kind of helpless in front of that guy. And as the guy was like telling her, like he's basically relishing in the fact that he's kind of like controlling these kids' minds. It's like a parallel to like Ashi's own situation. Um,
yeah.
uh, and before that, when she was kind of seeing the devastation of the world around her because of Aku, which is it was cool to see. I'm glad she has enough logic to just like eventually just cave in and be like, all right, I get it. Um, and the stuff with and Jack and then the freaking that freaking that horseman guy, the Grim Reaper guy, him saying it's time already. That's pretty crazy. It's like it seems like Jax is gonna go off with him and the rest of. I don't want to make like too far predictions, but like considering what the preview was and the fact that Ashi's now looking for him, man, I don't know, who knows where it could go from here. But overall, I thought this was a good episode. I enjoyed the episode.
All right, Kevin, what did you think about it? All right,
Well, interesting reading this point. That is her mother. She gave birth to them. Like,
I forgot. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, got down to the #1 Samurai Jack. But overall, the episode visually, there was so many visual scenes that I really liked. The sun and moon thing.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
That whole story he told. But I used to believe the dude on the horseman was like an illusion, or like, but it seems like it's real. Like that dude is legitimately real, because, or maybe it's in his mind, because it happened right after he thought he killed the kids. Remember? And right after it happened, right after he thought he killed the kid. Remember, after he got shot the kids out of their electrical induced frenzy or whatever the fuck that it was. When he got him out of that, he thought he killed him or something. Remember, he was like, no. That's when the horseman nigga appeared. That's the most interesting part. I thought it was just something random, but I guess it's very important. I think that we think that he lost his sword, but in reality, I think that dude is tied to the sword because the sword's supposed to come back. That's the only reason we got cooked. And we have about 4 episodes left after episode 6. And Wesley left, but I think that's the most important part. I think the swordsman is going to lead him to the swords. Ashi, I don't think she's fully sold on it. She's almost there, but she hasn't completely made her choice. I like the way that she's slowly coming to realization that she was on the side of, evil.
I think she like fully like knows that now at this point. She straight up said like I get it. Like she declared it already.
She did.
When, yeah. After Jack was showing all the locations and stuff and just all these places in ruin, like I forgot what Jack specifically asked her, but it was just like you see now, and she's like, yes. Now what can we do to like stop it or something like that? So she
like that. But
yeah, it happened.
I'm trying to think about
I don't know if she's on Jack's side.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah, I won't. I mean,
That's what I'm talking about.
Huh?
That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's about it. The sword's gonna appear in the next episode or 2.
yo, Mohammed, if you're still awake,
and the
unmute
Scotsman.
yourself.
Yeah, the incantation he put on his sword. That's very interesting. I feel like that's gonna come into play later. Now,
Probably.
I don't think he has a corporeal body. I don't think he has a physical body though. He can't really do anything. He can give like instructions.
Is Young going next or?
What happened?
I know. I was saying, unmute yourself if you're still awake and give your thoughts on the episode.
That's all from the best
Okay.
Samurai Jack fan. Young, go ahead.
This episode was probably my least favorite so far. It was pretty boring, honestly. I don't care for I didn't care for much of the stuff about those blue people. They just I don't know. I don't know if it's something from previous seasons or whatever, but I didn't care about them really. I don't know if they were trying to advance the plot with Jack's character and him going closer to death. And if that was the case, I thought it was pretty stupid since they didn't even die. Also, I like the stuff, but I did like the stuff with the whole all the Scottish people in the beginning and Aku. I thought it was kind of funny, and yeah, there was good stuff also between the beginning and then with Ashi and Jack with like how he's kind of like slowly teaching her like well he was slowly teaching her stuff like she was saying did Aku make the stars and like he was like basically
He told the
telling her
story.
gave that little folk tale about what he learned about like the fireworks and stuff. I thought that was cool, but I don't know, just it didn't feel like it felt like slow progression in this not chapter, this episode. So
Yeah, it was
I
it was
don't
a
know.
mix. It was a mix of a lot of different things, like you just said. It covered a lot of
Yeah,
different
yeah.
things.
I kind of like the change of scenery though. Also, going to this city area with Aku, with whatever the city
Yeah.
was. I think so. Yeah, I didn't think much of it. So yeah, that's it.
What did you think, Andre?
I thought this episode was a good episode. The Scottish stuff, Scotsman stuff was just him cursing him out was I thought it was funny. His reaction was to it, like just the facial expression he put. Him turning into a spirit and back into his prime. I think it's set up for some type of spiritual adventure that we're going to see Jack get into maybe in the next episode or two. The whole, this probably the sun and moon thing was probably my favorite portion because to me, I think that kind of represents what Jack and Ashi are going to do to resolve this entire Aku situation. That's kind of like to me how they're going to be represented in the fight against Jack. The kid stuff to me is just like a plot device to kind of show Ashi that Jack is telling the truth. I don't think she's done a complete 180. I think she's still kind of doing some type of soul searching. Um, and this whole Grim Reaper or this Knight on a horse, it kind of reminds me of Berserk with Guts in that Grim Reaper he used to see. I think this Grim Reaper is kind of just leading Jack into a situation where though he has to kind of go into I guess a trial physically and internally or spiritually, I should say. Thus, we're going to after that once he passes that, and I think the Scotsman and Ashi is going to be involved in that trial, that spiritual and physical trial, which is going to lead to him finding the sword. I think that's what that entire situation is setting up, and thus we'll see the old Jack kind of with like his shaven beard, ponytail, probably has the samurai suit on. Content wise, the episode doesn't have a lot to go on in a sense. It's not a lot to talk about. But like I said, I thought it was a nice episode. It was nice to see them kind of like build their relationship. This is merely kind of just setting episode for Ashi and then also setting up some further development for Jack. The Scotsman stuff, like I said, I think he's just there to kind of help Jack find a sword or go to the trial that he's going to be going through with this whole Grim Reaper thing. But to be honest, he's not needed in the entire in the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I figured with the way the episode ended with Jack leaving the Grim Reaper, it's definitely setting up for like some kind of interaction. Since the Scotsman is a ghost now, Jack might die or something and like come back to life or something like that. He's gonna go on some kind of thing where the Scotsman, it's convenient that the Scotsman is like a ghost now, spirit. The Ashi stuff, like it's necessary to see her go through that development. Do you think it was well paced? Like, do you all think it was like, was it too fast?
Given what we're given, like the time constraint, I think it's good. And also, we don't know how many days. Like in Jack, time passes weird. Like they could have been in there looking around for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
that she had time. So I don't really.
I
don't want to speak on it really, but I'd say I guess.
I never put the pieces together about how the Scotsman's in his prime now in the spirit and Jack's going off to death, and that it could be like this kind of like 2-man spiritual journey thing where they were to. That's actually a cool idea. That probably will happen.
Regarding that little thing, I just realized that looks like the armor that his father used to wear. I think in the early episode, like remember his dad had this armor. I guess it's like his dad, Jack's dad, the original, the guy with the original sword.
Yeah. Wait. You're saying what armor? The one that he was wearing at the start of the season?
No, I'm talking about the armor that's following him everywhere.
Oh, I gotta look at the picture.
I think, yeah. But he had a similar type of armor. Yeah, go look at it. But I think it's kind of like leading him. I think he knows he probably stashed a sword somewhere. I don't know if he lost it.
But it fell into an abyss.
Yeah, but he knows where it is, and he used the fact that the sword was missing as an excuse to stop going after Aku. But he probably knows how to get it back, and now he's actually going to go get it back. At least in my opinion.
I just like. I didn't even think of all that. How the Spirit Jack and maybe then the Spirit Scotsman go on the journey to get the enchanted sword back, and then that could possibly represent some crazy stuff about life and all this. It's about to be lit. Yo,
it's not happening.
What happened?
It's not happening.
Why would it not happen if death is approaching him halfway through the season and the Scotsman, Jack's most notable rival
and Jack isn't dying.
Well, I'm not saying he's dying. I'm saying he's going to enter a state of.
He's not going to die because he's already dead.
Well,
Or
are you
like
talking
a
about at the end of the series? Because
No,
I
I'm
feel
just
like
saying
it'll be a
that.
double suicide. Him
Well,
and Aku are going out together.
no, I'm saying. Well, I'm not saying Jack's dying. I'm saying.
That's
I
wrong,
understand.
Kevin.
No,
Well,
Young
you
said
think?
no. You didn't hear what Young said? He said Jack's already dead.
Oh, I don't know about all
No,
that.
remember when when Aang he was trying to learn the avatar, so he had to go
I
into
know
that
exactly
spiritual.
what you're saying,
I'm
Andre.
saying it's
Like
gonna
you're saying, like
be.
he'll enter that state of just like like it's like a spiritual
Bro,
type
this
of
ain't no
journey.
Avatar.
Um, I'm looking
Something's
at
gonna happen. Something's gonna
I'm
happen
looking at
here.
his
Where
dad's armor and the horseman's armor. Um,
is it similar?
the horns are different. Like it's kind of hard to
So
tell.
it's just the horns. It's just the horns that are different.
It's kind of hard to tell.
I don't think he
No, I
said
don't think. I
horn.
think it's the same armor because the horn.
No, I'm saying that
Um,
it's hard to tell given the fact that we don't see. We always just see the
I
I
mean,
think it
guy on
would
a
be
horse.
better. For, I think it
regarding
would be
the
better for Jack's character if he didn't find the sword.
how's he gonna beat Aku? He can't beat Aku without
I
the
don't
sword.
know, but it would be better for his character if he didn't,
Why is that?
because it would just show him having to revert back to old traditional means, relying on a sword to overcome this great power that has been.
But the sword is needed though
Wait,
to
wait.
vanquish
That's the
to
only
vanquish
way
the
to
But
ultimate
vanquish
let me
him.
evil though.
finish. But let me finish, Ibrahima. It would just be Jack having to rely on this external source other than himself to deal with this pestering problem that has been bothering him for over 50 years. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that he's not going to use it, because as you guys are saying, he needs the sword to beat Aku, but I'm saying I don't know if it would be good for his
um,
character.
The sword represent everything
if you
about
watch,
him.
no, even besides that, if you watch him face one on one Aku, he can beat Aku without the sword. He just can't vanquish him without the sword. He should be able to kill Aku.
Maybe he
He
should
could beat
just
Aku without the sword. He just can't kill
maybe
him. He needs to kill him.
he should
So,
just use the Mafuba.
oh my god. But
Do you think Aki's going to be killed at the end? You think Aki's definitely
I
going to be
think
killed?
both Jack and Aku are gonna die.
No, no.
He'll be his the threat of Aku will be gone forever. Maybe
Wait, Andre,
he'll
are you
probably
saying you don't
he'll
think
probably get
Aku's gonna
sealed.
die?
I think he'll get sealed in the sword.
You can't get
Yeah.
sealed in the story. You're gonna get killed, bro.
But
Like
we
he
don't
gets
know
No,
what
sealed
the
in the
no.
we don't
sword.
know what
I
the
mean,
sword does.
actually, he has been temporarily shielded in the sword before. So
I'd have to go back before I say anything about that.
he's
Wasn't it
been
like the first episode?
a couple times he's been sealed in the sword.
No, but I don't think Jack's dying in this.
No, I said Aku. Aku.
Oh yeah,
I don't know
I
about
think
yeah. I don't know if I don't know if we could truly get rid of Aku for
Yeah.
I
good.
don't think
In the same way that like you can't like the evil in the world like the wrongdoing in the world can never be permanently like it's
Then
gone.
how is the series gonna
But
end?
I think you can seal him somewhere
they
or
can either kill
vanquish
him or
him.
seal him away.
No,
I
but the
Yeah,
think
problem with that,
I
the problem with that is he can come back if something goes. You have to completely get rid of him.
Well,
He
how did he
can't
come
be
back from the
there.
sword the first time?
I don't remember, but I know he came back.
it wasn't enough to hold him. But
He was banished for like 15,000 years, I think. Yeah, before.
I don't
So he
I
came
don't think
back.
I think if Jack does die, I don't think it's gonna be like clearly showing his death. I feel it's gonna be like ambiguous, and that it's gonna
Or you
you're
think it's
gonna
gonna be
have
one of those
to
open-ended endings?
yeah, like you're gonna have to like you remember the way Impel Down ended with Bon Clay versus Magellan. You guys remember that?
Yeah, kind
mhm.
When like Bon Clay had to like hold off Magellan, like you could assume that he died, but you never truly know. So
I have a few theories regarding that whole like swordsman dude, the guy in the armor. Either A, he's the one that Jack was fighting, and then it was like a trial because all the portals at this point in time are closed. So maybe Jack was trying to find a way to get into another portal, and he had to beat that guy at the trial. And that guy was trying to help him beat Akuma, I'm guessing. And when the sword fell down, he decided he didn't want to keep going. So the guy said, "Okay, when you get your will back, when they get you, we're gonna try to do this and this and that." Or maybe it's the ghost of his father, kind of guiding him. You
Well,
know,
we've already
I don't
seen
know.
his dad
I don't know.
being
That
tortured.
armor, but I feel like that has something to do with the sword or trial or something. But the reason I keep saying that Jack is gonna die is because all the portals are like closed. He can't get back.
I don't think he's getting that.
Exactly.
I think he's going to be fine with staying in the future and then rebuilding the world from there.
He
But,
won't see the rebuild of the world. I don't think.
Yeah, I think he's gonna die.
I think what'll happen is the fruits of his labor will come to fruition. But I don't know if he himself will be able to see that day.
Yeah, that I don't see
Wow.
happening either.
the sword does seal him. I think the original thing was the Emperor sealed him inside this tree,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
during the eclipse, the tree rotted down, and then that's how he got it. So it may be a situation where he does have to kill him,
Yeah, he does have to.
but I don't think Jack's going to. I don't think.
I mean, the truth is, they have like,
If he has the means to do so, he will.
yeah.
I mean,
But you gotta understand Aku's relationship with her. They're kind of like low key. Like they kind of need each other.
They're they're interdependent. Once Jack is able to
Raymond, let
get
me
rid of
finish my
him,
point. When Jack needs Aku because I don't know, they kind of built a relationship. Like you can tell some of the episodes when they fought, like they had this kind of like comedy thing going. It's like it's a rivalry, but like a weird friendship at the same time. It's weird.
It's
All
in
right.
the sense that both of them give each other purpose.
Really?
All right. So at the end of this episode, the writer, is Jack going to kill himself? Like, is he allowing himself to die? Like, what is he leaving? You think to do?
Jack,
Yeah.
I
At
think
the end of
he
this episode.
accepted the fact that there's something that he has to fix. He's been running from this night since the season started, and I think he finally understands that he has to kind of face this challenge head on. That's entering this whole physical and spiritual trial. I think Ashi's going to be a part of that in the Scotsman.
Wait, do you think he lost his sword 50 years ago?
No, he lost his sword.
In like episode 1.
No, he lost his sword like in one of the past seasons.
Yeah, but no, he didn't.
yeah, he
Not,
did.
not in.
Yeah,
At the end of season 4, I believe. Yeah.
he lost
He
his sword.
lost the sword.
He lost his sword. He fell into an abyss. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that trial is going to be him finding that sword.
Yeah, that means he lost the sword 50 years ago.
Well, we don't know. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so he lost the sword 50 years ago.
Which is why it's interesting that like after that is all of a sudden he's saying I don't age. So it's just interesting to think about. You know, he doesn't have that sword, and all of a sudden it's like he's not a person anymore.
You think like the sword is like his tether to the past, I guess.
Maybe. It's interesting to think about like when you really connect the dots like that. It's like you kind of like find a causality that he loses the sword and then he doesn't age and he's gone, he's changed and he's just become broken, and it's like he's running from this thing, and this night keeps reoccurring like around him.
Well,
It's
that
what do you say?
that would be really cool then if he does find the sword and he uses it to defeat Aku, but as a result, since it is this quote unquote tether to the past, time once again I guess has its effect,
It probably will.
and
I think yeah.
Sorry.
and it just, and I guess since
He becomes old as dirt.
and logically, yeah, he just
Dude becomes like an
logically.
80-year-old man.
But that would be kind of cheesy though.
No,
I don't think
That's,
it should be that. I don't. I think it should start his time clock again, but it should just be now you're starting your time. It shouldn't be just gradually
that would be
ages that you use.
interesting, but they I
no,
think
you wouldn't like if or not like it, but like you wouldn't see a scenario where like he finishes Aku off and then you cut
No,
back to him and listen, you cut back to him and he's just like withered and old and like just
no,
like fading away. And
no.
I mean,
They're,
in
I
one of
don't
the
they're
in
doing
one of
that.
the in
I
one of
see
the
a
older
better
episodes. Oh, go ahead, Adrian.
They're
I
building
see a
a
better
relationship.
With who?
I see
Ashi?
Yeah.
Young, go ahead.
I see a better way to like write his death happening than just him withering away. It'll
No,
be
that's not
more of
true.
a visual thing. Like I don't know. I don't
I mean,
see
I think.
full
Oh, go ahead.
confirmation. I don't see full confirmation of his death happening in this at the end of this.
Well, I mean, to address your point, this is a limited series, so this is gonna finish the whole series.
Yeah.
I don't think
Hmm.
Gendy is gonna give us some BS open and ended ending. He's just gonna give us an ending.
no, I don't
I don't
think
think
Gendy
the
said.
ending is BS.
That's
I
not
don't think.
BS.
Not
I don't
BS,
think he
but
said the ending is open ending. I think he just said like the way he dies and the matter of which him actually dying is going to be more of this kind of symbolic, not like concrete, like I'm dead kind of thing.
It's
Well,
not gonna like
yeah,
show
but
him like dead on
when
the
it comes to
ground. Like,
Jack, I do think if he does get his sword back, I don't think he's gonna wither. I just think his time's gonna it's just gonna go back. He's gonna age normally after that. He's not gonna instantly
yeah.
die. Um, what else would I want to say?
I mean, not you. People live in their 80s or whatever.
No, but
No, but I'm
So
saying like technically he's like at 26 or whatever the fuck age he is because he's stuck in
I
time
think it's
ever since he lost
yeah.
the sword. So
there'll be no
technically he's
point in
like
Okay.
building a relationship.
yeah,
They'll go
and
wither away.
the way Gendy is
Yeah,
doing
I
it, it
don't
seems
really
like
see
he
it.
wants to set up a relationship with him and Ashi. That's why
Yeah.
him
wait, I
living
have
I don't see
is.
him dying at the end. That's why I definitely don't see him dying like right away at
But
the
I
end
do
of it.
believe that
Unless they
Aku
flash
is
forward.
gonna get murked. Oh, now I remember what I was gonna say. In the previous episodes, there were like 2 or 3 episodes where they showed Jack in the future and he was like older looking and he had that little Spartan look, remember? And he had like all
Hmm.
the yeah, you know what I'm talking about. And I feel like that's gonna be fulfilled because I remember when he fought the time guy, the guy with the really big dude with the black voice, when he was trying to get the portal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I remember the little Egyptian niggas. It was crazy ass episode, but they showed him
It
what
showed
he looked
future
like
like
in the
Jack.
future
Yeah,
Jack. Yeah, and he
they
had like
might
the
take that
white hair.
design.
He looked older. He had like he had a crown on his head. So I'm assuming that he's
Hmm.
gonna take over Aku's spot. But the only thing we gotta like decide on is Aku gonna die? And I'm saying he has to go because they can't leave him coming back to chance. So Jack is going to vanquish the nigga.
I
The
don't know
question
about that.
is,
Something tells me that Jack will go into like this a spirit form in the next episode of the episode after that and be with the Scotsman, kind of like trying to save the world from a spiritual sense while Ashi tries to do it from a physical sense while simultaneously learning more about it herself, if
so
that
you
makes
think
sense.
Ashi? Do any of you guys think Ashi might get killed
No,
anyway?
No.
I don't know, so I'm not gonna say it's
no.
outside the realm of possibility, but
No.
I get this weird feeling that the dynamic we're gonna get is Jack is going to do something to the world from a spiritual sense while Ashi does it from a physical sense. And because now I started to connect the dots in my head about where this Scotsman will play for this situation, considering his goal is to re-encounter Jack, and Jack is being told it's time for him to go or whatever it is, and I think that'll involve the sword, and I think that'll start like I think the chips are gonna start to fall into place like for the
Man, I
plot
said
like
they'll
in,
separate.
what happened.
I said they'll separate. But she's gonna search for
Yeah,
him.
and it's gonna be one of those things where like they're accomplishing different things. So,
No,
but
I definitely think the Scotsman's daughters are going to come into play when, in the final battle as like the army to use the
yeah.
storm.
yeah,
sure, yeah,
they want to
yeah.
fight against their father.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I have a question. What do you guys regarding the relationship between Ashi and Jack? Do you see it more as a like a romantic relationship or more of like a fatherly? Like Jack plays a fatherly role in her
Why
life.
not? Why not both?
Also,
Romantic.
it's hard. Like
I
I don't
think
think
It's
he hasn't
romantic.
he hasn't showed any like romantic desire towards her, and he's shown mentorship in a father role.
Yeah.
However, she's already visibly becoming starting visibly like starting to admire him, and I think it'll grow to a point where she just like Jack's like an old fashioned dude anyway, and like their culture and all that stuff, where it's just like even if you don't show any like romantic desire towards them, it's just like this is a woman, like like he could just he'll probably like settle down with her. So I think it could be both. I don't. I feel like the fact that they introduced her and they kind of wrote them together in this way, like I don't want to say they have to get together, but like you would think they would.
It would be
It,
unsatisfying if there was no.
I wouldn't say that. I'm not like this
If there wasn't
freak
a.
about.
the way it's setting up, it's like obviously she's going to search for Jack, and I think in her process of searching for Jack, she's going to see like kind of the impact he's had on the world. She may be running into some older.
I think
I mean, if you
That's
watch the
true on it.
preview, if you
Right.
watch the preview, we kind of already seen that.
Well, I didn't
So
see.
like,
In
Uh,
the
so
in
like
the
she,
preview
oh, hey,
these
nope.
you don't want to know the preview? It's
No,
a quick preview.
no.
okay, okay.
But
All right.
yeah, I think the way they're written, whether it's romantic or not, at this point, the only reason for actually to kind of like that she's alive is because of Jack. And Jack, kind of other than fighting out food, he has no reason to live basically. And barring him dying, I think that after Aku was vanquished, they have to be each other's reasons to still be alive at the end. So whether it's romantic or not, I think their life, if both of them survive the finale, like their life is going to continue together in some way. Like I don't think that they're gonna Aku's gonna be defeated and they're just gonna go their separate ways.
I think
So romantic makes sense, but it's not.
I think the trial's going to start the progression to the romance.
So you think it's gonna be like just like a clear romance in the series, like
Yeah, I think right now she's going to grow into a more of an admirational thing, and then once the trial starts, where she helps Jack and like the Scotsman, I think that's going to be the start of the romance. Then you know, somewhere along the line, they're going to declare, quote unquote, their love for each other, or recognize that they have feelings towards each other.
that's a lot to do in like 3 episodes.
Well,
4,
Five, right?
5, 5, 5.
All right,
Why did
well
I think?
maybe
Why did I think this was like episode 6 or 7? Damn.
96,
I
that's
don't know.
why. So you thinking it's going to 100?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, we got 5 episodes left. So
And so that's plenty of time to do that.
yeah.
I mean, she's already pretty much out of that stage. I mean, her progression is like
Hmm.
quickly, so like she already doesn't hate him. She's not trying to kill him anymore. So
I mean, her progression started from season 1. I mean, episode 1.
yeah, so I mean that's all.
Hmm.
Do you think? So do you think he's getting the sword like right at the end, or he's gonna have it pretty soon? The
He
next
he
couple
may he
episodes?
may get it at the. I think something about the next episode will be centered around the sword regarding that night on the horse and Jack. I think whatever they're going to do and whatever they're going to has to do with his sword.
So, what this is episode 5?
Yeah,
This was 5. This is the 5th episode of the
This
season.
fifth episode. So I'll say 7 is when we'll see him
Get the
find the
sword.
sword. Yeah, find the sword and hold it. Like, actually, I got the sword back.
all right. What would you rate? And what are you expecting to see next season, Andre?
Uh, I would rate this episode. I give it like a 8 to 8.5. That's it. My favorite part. I really like the sun and moon story. I thought that's gonna represent. I think that's honestly going to represent like Jack and Ashi at the end of the season.
Oh my!
Um,
Hmm.
I
I
next,
watched
gotta rewatch that
Kubo.
scene now.
I actually watched Kubo right before this episode. Kubo on the two strings or whatever, and that's what that story reminded me of. Like there's a lot of that kind of stuff.
next week, I think it's going to be her looking for Jack. Um, maybe some scenes with Aku, maybe some comedic scenes, and then we finally reaching Jack, and she finding Jack and reaching Jack, and we want to see that he's entered some type of like a spiritual state or a trance state. That's it. Starting the journey of that physical and spiritual um, development for Jack.
Nobody thinks the Scotsman spirit is gonna aid Ashi and the daughter's gonna be
No,
Jack.
no, no. Scotsman Spirit is going to be all for Jack. I think
Was that the
almost
first time he
100%.
met Aku?
Hmm?
That's the first time
The
Scotsman
Scotsman.
met Aku, right?
I don't remember him encountering Aku before. He's appeared a couple of times, and they've all been for Jack encounters.
Okay.
Aku's base has been attacked by people before, but not the Scotsman. It's been like all other armies that have failed.
Alright, yeah. You can hear what's your rating? What do you think?
What do I think's gonna happen next episode? 8 out of 10 episode. Next week. Ashi's going to be looking for Jack. She's going to be. She's gonna have difficulties in getting around and avoiding like there will be groups of people who will think bad of her because they think that she's still just like an Aku daughter assassin, and because of who she's associated with, I think it'll be hard for her to get around.
Wait, Emo, I
Um,
have a question before you finish. Do you think that it's gonna be Ashi focused, or
Next week's
is it gonna be
episode,
like half? Yeah.
it'll be like a half and half.
Okay.
I think that we will see what's going on with Jack, and I think it's gonna be sword related. I think there's a very good chance he encounters the spirit of the Scotsman at some point, and I'm starting to think there may be a possibility of Jack kind of wherever he's going with that guy. He may enter into like a spirit like form to continue on with them and do whatever they have to do. Uh, and it
So
may
you
be
think
one of
that
those
guy's
kind of.
you think that figure is more is not malevolent, like it's not an evil figure in any way? It's like just a
It
guy.
it it could be just like like a neutral.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a trial nigga.
You guys nobody thinks that that's guy's malicious or there's some nobody thinks
Over the course of the episodes, like less and less. I think that. No,
yeah.
I don't think like it's like I'm gonna kill you
I was
like that.
nobody thinks there's a some kind of dark there's just a suggestion like some kind of dark power that he's offering Jack and that Jack's been avoiding this entire time, but now that he saw his line
Maybe.
kill all those kids. He's like, art, because like it sounded like he kind of like gave up in some way. Like, all right, I'll just do this thing I've been avoiding. Nobody thinks it's like he's been offered this power to defeat Aku in like a
But
less than
who?
Maybe.
positive way, and now Jack kind of like, all right, I've gone so far. I've murdered all these kids. Now I'll just do it the way that you want me to do it, which is like a less
Yeah,
Maybe.
because he
honorable
believes.
Maybe.
thing.
Yeah,
Maybe.
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 Yeah, so that might be interesting.
Muhammad, you
Is
still up?
everybody else muted?
He may be muted.
No, it's
Unmute
not.
yourself, Young.
He's not me. He's just trying to say.
I don't know. He always appear when Jack is doubting or has some guilt.
Hmm.
I
Andre, you
think
want to
it's
go?
just, I think it's just an interesting crowd. You know,
I thought it was death, but now
Wait, did everybody already go and give the rating and stuff?
no, it's just
Oh. When it comes to rating, I'm gonna be serious this time. I'm not gonna give my standard 10 out of 10. Given what the implications of this episode was gonna lead to, I'd say it's a 9. But if we're talking about just like the contents of the episode itself, it's probably like
mm-hmm.
8.5.
It's me, young.
But when it comes to the whole that dude thing, I do remember that Jack he didn't appear. Every time he appears, Jack is either in a situation where he's leaning toward the morally gray. Like the dude, he didn't accept that dude's invitation until like he thought he, you know, fucked with the kids. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that dude is an alternative to the the
Yeah,
sword.
because I thought he was deaf, but seeing how or like
Or somebody
him wanting to die,
that was like
I
a
thought he
teacher or
was,
some
but
shit.
that's already represented by the blue spirit, Jack in his mind kind of. So like they don't really need two figures representing him wanting to die and like get it over with.
Another thing is that
So
I just remembered the sword, right? I remember some of the previews we saw like the sword looking green, and we thought like it may have been bathed in some other worldly like ooze or some shit. But I don't think it is because we saw him using that
but what's your
the leg of that whatever. But
like I said,
what's my what?
I was gonna say what's your like I said, my prediction now, if going with if what Andre says is gonna happen, then I think Ashi might get his sword pretty soon,
You
and
think
Jack
Ashi's
might
gonna
get
find
it.
it?
Yeah, I think she'll use it for a while, and Jack will get a different sword that's like darkness, like the other sword, like this holy sword or whatever.
My prediction.
Yeah, I think Jack would use like some kind of dark.
I think we're
It
gonna
it
get
take it
Ashi
takes a
focused
lot. It takes
episodes for
it takes a
the
lot
next two episodes.
it takes a lot to be able to be deemed worthy and wield the enchanted sword. So she'd have to train for years and do a bunch of stuff to be able to get it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, maybe
Jack
she'll
spent
just
at
carry
least
it.
10 or 15 years
Maybe she'll just carry it.
to use the
Wow.
swords. And also, no, if you're Imperial, you can't use that sword either. She was kind of.
She's pretty good. It's like
This dude Jack was training his mind, body, and soul for years.
Yeah,
she trained her whole life.
What happened?
So
they get trained with
filling down
Shaolin
some
monks.
spirit bombs.
Yeah,
But
man,
go on.
doing fisticuffs with Shaolin monks and doing all
Her
kinds of
her
archery.
entire life has been centered.
Yo, he
It's
learned like
similar.
every single martial art
In
possible.
turn, I mean, yeah, but like this dude, like I said, it was mind, body, and soul. Like
It was everything.
all building
She's
towards.
actually gone through a similar training.
I didn't deny that, Wesley, but let me finish my sentence. I said he's training his mind, body, and soul, all working towards specifically
Wielding
geared
that
towards
sword.
wielding that, and not just in general, like to be an assassin, to kill a
And
samurai.
look at him
So
even without the sword. He can throw hands like a coon without the
I'm
sword.
not saying she lacks a skill set to use a sword or that sword. I'm saying like it's almost like I think like she's just not worthy. Uh,
Yeah, pretty much.
uh,
Second time, sir?
Oh yeah, you're gonna
oh
have like
man,
30 minutes next
oh
episode.
man,
Stop, stop,
that
stop, stop.
that'll be insane.
Next episode is gonna
The
be
new opening is like 60 years have passed, but I do not age.
um predictions for the next episode. It's gonna be Ashi focused for a few episodes, I think.
I don't think it's gonna
Wait
be
for the
100%
episode.
full. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be 100% full Ashi for a couple
I
episodes.
mean, that was my prediction, Ibrahima. Um, we're gonna
What's
get a
your
little bit
rate?
more of
You said
Aku.
9 out of 10?
He said, yeah.
It depends. Like if we're talking about what it implies for the next couple of episodes, then 9. If we're just talking about the contents itself, it's 8, 8.5.
Okay.
Visually amazing. Props again, Day.
I thought this was the least visually impressive, but it sounded like that, so it still just
No,
looks
I'm just talking
better
about
than
the
most of them.
certain scenes specifically, not overall. I think the most visually appealing one was a 1 or 2 episodes ago. I think
Episode
3.
episode two is the most visually impressive, but I mean, they're all nice episodes.
Yeah.
No, I think it was 2 and 3. 2 and 3. That's one.
What do you expect to happen, man? You said I should focus.
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of Ashi focus.
You think so?
So yeah, Jack is gonna be focused on doing whatever he's doing with that dude. Gaining a new power. I feel like there was a scene where we saw Jack and he looked evil in one of the preview trailers. I don't remember, but
I can see it.
yeah, I
I
can
can see
see
that.
there was a dark Jack at one point in the
I
series.
remember that. I was gonna bring that up.
Dark Jack.
I could see her fighting against him back to essentially.
It would be really
Fighting who?
crazy. It would be really crazy if the paradigm switches to like her becoming super pure and Jack becoming
Yeah,
the kind of like
he's a
messed up
heartless
one.
assassin. Like, I think he's
Oh,
gonna
and
become more
Jack
like
has to
her.
vanquish her.
And it,
Jack kills her and he gains his purity back. That'd be some lit ass shit.
Oh, he kills her to get his pity back? How does that make sense?
Like she'll be the sacrifice for him to get back to his old self completely.
You mean she gonna die or she's gonna
Yeah.
kill her? Like, how about him killing her?
That'll be nuts.
Yeah.
Nah, that wouldn't make any sense. That was just pushing part of watching somebody die. That doesn't restore your sense of morality or anything in that day.
I
It,
mean,
nah.
that's
It might wake him up if he was like a frenzy or something. But
Mm.
yeah.
All right. Well, seems like that
Wait,
was the review.
Andre still has to go.
No,
No,
I
he
just
yeah.
gave
want to
us.
say.
You already
He
went?
gave everything. Yeah.
Oh.
well.
All right,
This is
well,
the best Jack fan of all time signing off.
me?
Nah, I'm just calling shit left and right, man.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I don't think anyone expected certain things to happen as fast as they did. I don't think anybody expected Jack to go willingly with
I mean,
the
I
guy.
said she was gonna search for Jack.
We'll see. She might find him next episode. I don't know how. We don't know how. It's gonna go.
Wait, so you're saying Jack lost the sword on last episode? I really
He
gotta
lost what?
rewatch that then.
He lost what?
Andre said he lost the sword on the last episode.
No.
Episode
No, it showed
51.
the first episode. It shows when he lost it. When you're fighting the.
No, I know that's what I thought you were
Oh
talking
no.
about. No. Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait, I don't remember.
Gotta
I think I
get
said it,
back
baby.
to the past, Samurai Jack.
All right. Well,
Man, they should have brought the old opening back, man. That shit was lit.
They have it as the
Long
ending, so
ago.
it's fine.
episode 96 review.
Mm.
Signing out. Be here sometime next week.